Let's fly under the radar. Today we're talking about ego and what else were we talking about? It was-
Well, there's a story, and we decided to stop.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
So you said I'll keep your story. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Okay, I think I'll try to get back on track.
Yeah.
So when we're on the road,
Yeah.
everybody thinks. I don't know where I was going with that
Well,
story.
what I was
already.
saying
I
is,
forgot.
with Eckhart Tolle's book,
Mm.
watch me butcher it. But from the little news or little segment or extraction I got from the book is, when you think you understand everything, is when you least understand everything, which
Yes.
is fucking scary because everything that you think is you're probably wrong about. So, which fucks up with the whole political thing because all the shit that they tell us and we think is concrete, and then we find that it's not concrete. It's why we have all these conspiracy theories going on, and it just
That's the thing, you know. So on the road,
Yeah.
everybody thinks that the other one is the dickhead.
yeah,
But you could be like there's
The massive
another. There's
dickhead.
definitely someone. That's
Yeah.
where I was going with
Yeah,
this. I got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
There's definitely another driver that thinks that I'm the dickhead.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no doubt that. Okay. So during the lockdown, I was doing personal training Saturday morning,
Yeah.
6 lanes wide open,
yeah,
and I'm driving north,
Yeah.
and I got the whole motorway to myself.
Yeah.
Beautiful sunny days, no
Yeah.
one on the road.
yeah,
And then I'm not too sure exactly where I'm going, and I see the exit, and I'm a little late.
Yeah.
So I'm going from lane 1, and I need to move to lane 6.
yeah,
And a quick look, I'm alone,
yeah,
and I start changing, kind
Yeah.
of smooth, like
Yeah.
not like completely crazy,
Yeah.
and so. And then at about say lane 3 or lane 4,
yeah,
I see that there's a kind of 4x4,
Yeah.
a big wheel,
Yeah.
kind of, and it's just I scratched the whole of my car completely with
Yeah.
this big tires. It was not
Yeah.
like metal
Yeah,
or
it was just
fiberglass. It
rubber.
was like the rubber.
yeah, yeah,
Here we go. It
Yeah.
was really calm. Put
Yeah.
his indicator, and we pulled over. So
Yeah.
the guy comes in, and straight away, he goes like, "What were you doing?"
yeah,
I said, "I know, I know, it's a dumbass move,"
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah.
But I said, "But I didn't see you. You couldn't see me.
Yeah.
You couldn't have
Is it-
moved."
or stopped.
He was driving.
Yeah.
He was proving a point where
Yeah.
with my big fucking truck,
Yeah.
I'm not changing lane, even
Yeah.
though there's like 3 lanes that I
Yeah.
can move to
Yeah.
avoid you and maybe
Yeah.
hung and make
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You could have done this,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
would
yeah.
have to thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for avoiding an accident. But he was stubborn. He saw me moving. He said, "That little prick."
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
show
then
you,
okay, so I didn't panic. He said, "You want to see the video,
Yeah.
like to show you because I got the camera on
Yeah.
my dash."
Yeah.
And I said, "No,
Yeah,
it's
that's
my
fine.
fault."
Yeah,
So my white car, was
Yeah.
full of black rubber.
Is it the white car you got now?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah? Oh,
So-
you must have fixed it. now.
yeah, I did. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm going with
Yeah,
this. Okay,
yeah.
so I booked. I called the insurance company.
Yeah.
Go to Merrickville.
Yeah,
Go to the garage and stuff. The guy, the evaluator,
yeah,
assessor, whatever.
Yeah.
He looked and he said, "Yeah, okay, you're lucky. The doors are alright. The wheels are fine. It's
Yeah.
just okay." I said, "You're lucky. It's not so bad." And
Yeah.
so he goes, "Was it your fault?" I said, "Totally,
yeah,
totally. It was a dumbass move. I was
Yeah.
a Saturday morning, beautiful sun,
Yeah.
changed lane. Thought I was alone. I looked, but I didn't see him coming.
Yeah.
The guy didn't move. Exactly the same story. The guy is like this with his pen and goes, no one ever says it's their fault." He looked at me and said, "Good on you, mate."
yeah,
So that gives me hope that,
yeah,
because that's the thing
Yeah.
with the ego thing,
Yeah.
if you're a dickhead,
Yeah.
every dickheads don't know they're dickheads, and that's
Yeah.
why they're dickheads, and that frightens me that I'm part of the tribe,
Yeah.
that I don't know I'm a dickhead. So someone like this that say, okay, that's no one says it's their fault, but it was my fault.
yeah, yeah.
It was my fault,
Yeah.
and I was aware
And
that
it was
it
your
was
fault.
a dumbass
And you go,
move.
I did that.
Hey, and he goes, no one ever says it's their fault. It's
Yeah.
always someone that. So doesn't it scare you
It,
sometimes?
it
that
is.
you-
It is
you-
absolutely scary. Like, well, my example of the things I used to believe in that literally at the core of my entire belief. You know all those dumbass little things that your parents tell you as a kid.
Mhm.
Like, if you turn the light on in the car while we're driving, the police will arrest us. Did you ever get those?
No,
Okay.
no, but
I was told as a kid,
Yeah.
like if the lights in the car was on, and the police saw you, you get arrested. So I always used to freak out, even all the way to my
I know
20s.
it's annoying to drive with
Yeah.
the light in the
Yeah.
car, but
All the way to my 20s, I was just kind of like, when someone turned the light while you're driving, like, what are you doing? I just turn it off because I've been conditioned to think that's the truth, and my whole entire universe believes it is. Then one day I just asked myself, like, why would they care that they can visibly see my face? Like, why?
So, do they really believe that, or they were trying to tell you?
I don't know, but that's what they
We
told
should
me.
call your dad now.
What the fuck is that?
Put him on the spot.
Yeah, I thought it was. There's another thing that I thought. So, I had a girlfriend for like 9 years or so, and she, I was like, if we ever have kids, the kids are gonna be named, whatever the name we pick for them, and then my last name. And then she's like, well, I kind of want my last name to be in there. So I was like, okay, but they have a middle name. She's like, yeah, but I want to make it their name, their middle name, my name, then your name.
So it take a long time to
Yeah,
learn how to call someone.
to call his kids out name. I was just kind of like, but I'm the guy. The man's supposed to have the name, right? And my whole core belief was that that's how the world works. Like, because of that's just how it's always been. The kids have to take my last name, forget about your last name. And then as I began to mature as a person, I was like, no one gives a fuck. You could call the kid trash bag peanut butter, and it's fine.
Once again, it's that comes down to ego. It's ego.
It is
101.
And those are little things that I used to believe was entirely like, if someone was to say, oh, my kid was named after the wife, I'll just be like, what the fuck? Back then, I'll just be like, how'd you let that happen? Because my core belief is that I was right, that it's the right thing to do, but it doesn't actually matter. So now you've got people on the other extreme who are kind of like, you've got people who are homophobic and this and that, and you're just kind of thinking, they're like, well, men shouldn't fuck men. But it's like, has any man fucked you?
See, no. And if you ask me the question, it's no.
But it's just their core belief is like, they're gonna come into my house and then they're gonna fuck all of us, and in their mind, it's absolutely true.
And it all sticking to an idea like that is just entirely egoic once again.
Yeah, it is. If anyone gets a chance to read one of Eckhart Tolle's book, once you read it, you just be like, mind blown. I reckon after about maybe a month, you sort of forget everything you just read and carry on with your miserable life. But if you do read it, there's that brief moment of time where you're just kind of like a little bit conscious.
Yes.
And to realize that you are insignificant in a world full of significance.
Yes.
And that just scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, I was. I picked up that book randomly. Randomly at the airport. I was going to Japan.
Yeah.
And one of those like news agencies or something. Yeah. And I got. How did someone really recommended that book to you, or
the reason how I found that book was I wanted to, so I got care from the hospital. It's been 2 years now, and I had no identity of self. I come to the gym every day as a PT, but I don't function well as a PT, and I don't function well as anything. So I just wanted to read something that had a different view about something. I wanted to feel something else. I literally just found that I was just typing in on Apple Store, whatever. I was just kind of like typing in all these weird names of things that seem spiritual or out of body kind of experience, or Earth or aliens. And then this book came in, and I just pressed the audio book to hear a bit of a preview of it, and I was just like, okay, paid $30 for it, which is a fucking lot for an audiobook. But then I paid
especially for it. Eckhart Tolle, his
Yeah.
voice and all that.
Yeah, it's so soothing. So
one.
I'm listening to this thing, and I was just beginning to go like, oh my god, like it's sort of like
it's my Bible.
It's
my
stripping
Bible.
down my universe, because like all the things I used to, people see me now and they go like, oh, you're this wholesome person. I have always been, but that book really helped me shape
and then
things
I think,
together.
like, you know, as I'm thinking as you speak that I
Yeah.
need to reread it again.
Yeah.
I need to, because we're surrounded by a swirl of pus.
Yeah.
So you know, it's pretty much
it-
so. I feel like, you know, that you gotta return to that book all the
It's-
time to
it's-
remind
It's a
yourself.
real good balance. And the thing is, when you try to explain to someone who hasn't read it, they think you're a hippie.
Yeah, it is.
Right. And now, just like if you were to tell me and I hadn't read it, I'd just be like, all right, I'll read it later. That hippie shit.
Then me, I got hooked up. I was in the news agency, and you read the back, but whatever. Like, no, I just thought the first page or something, and he talks about it in uni, and he wants to kill himself, and then see when he goes, I cannot live with myself, and then he had this like, whoa, so you know.
Who the fuck said
So
that?
who's that dude? So,
Yeah.
you know, there's the self and I. So well, I'm too. So which one I am? So I got hooked up with that. I said, oh fuck, I never really considered that ever. You know, so I got hooked up with that. So I bought it. I demolished it. I think I read it. I just couldn't.
Yeah. You can't put it down.
And that week, because it was so fresh, and I was with my best friend as well in Japan. We met there to meet our common friend. I had the best week.
You do.
Because, like, when my friend, for example, I remember Antoine was shopping to buy a video camera, and he was asking all questions to be asked. It was so long in the electronic shop, you know? And I was sitting, and I was just like,
to knock him out.
I was so sad. I was so relaxed. So, you know, I was practicing those things. So that's why all that time and being like 5 or 6 guys together, you need to be zen, because it's difficult to make decisions. And I was always like very relaxed.
It is.
You know?
That's what I was saying. Like, when you read it, the first month, you just keep practicing, you forget it.
And then the swirl.
I know. It's amazing how much darkness we live in, even though we think we live pretty. Our mind is just full of darkness, right? So, when I read that book, right, I'm probably like in a car and someone's speeding, trying to overtake someone, and I'm just kind of like, where are we going?
Yes.
Like, where are we going?
Yes.
Or you know, I can understand there are pressing issues such as paying your house rent and all that sort of stuff. You got to go to work. Those are necessary evils that we have in this world. But half the other shit that I worry about is like, you're gonna die anyway. Like,
that's one of the biggest change between, I don't know, surely you notice a difference. I think we spoke about it when I went with the rollerblades and during the lockdown, is how people were nice. And I think, you know, the government were taking, you know, with the JobKeeper payments. People were very relaxed. You were on the road. I know there was less busy, but it's beyond the busyness, if it's a word of the road, is that, you know, you were merging and it was like a zipper. People were, and now the rat race has restarted. Like, you know, the hamster is running in the wheel, and now you motherfucker, you're not gonna get at the red light before me.
We're back to negativity.
I'm gonna get there, you know, and it's back into it, and you can sense it on the road when I drive. Now that it's a battle again. So I was thinking, you know, I think the rat race, the monopoly game that we were forced to play, we have no choice.
Absolutely.
It changes our mindset. It completely changes the mindset.
This shit that we do here, where we sort of chat and, you know, brothers care, and then we look at news and current affairs and then we discuss it. None of it actually matters, right? But to create the content, you have to make it seem as though these things matter. But it's just, if you sort of become a little more self-aware, it's just to disconnect. Like, Trump is out there dancing, right?
It's just distracting.
Yeah, it's just distracting, and people are just kind of like they think they know. Oh, he's so lovely, and it's just all that.
Fuck, we're dumb.
I know, we're
fucking dumb. It was like,
they do it to us in movies too. You're watching a movie, the bad guy comes in, he stabs everyone to death, and all of a sudden, the good guy catches him, and then they put him through some kind of torture, and then he shows a bit of humanity, and we're just kind of leave him alone.
That's so true.
The narrative has been written for us already. We have no control. Like, it's why I sympathize and understand conspiracy theorists. They've got a point.
Yeah.
But at the same token, who gives a fuck?
Yes. Yes.
Like, we're all screwed. We don't know what we're doing. We don't.
And majorly, like in majority, I think
Yeah.
big cities, which is a majority
Yeah.
of the Western world,
Yeah.
this is like a engineered a certain way that you're in a wheel
Yeah.
of distraction
Yeah.
and debt and having to work, and it's a wheel that keeps turning.
Yeah.
And if you don't get out of this, well you have to play. You're in it. I think like people in the rural areas and stuff, they let's face it, I think less information at the
It's
moment
way
is
better.
it's way better.
It's just
If
way better.
the ignorance is bliss,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
literally,
yeah.
you know, this expression been existing
Yeah.
forever.
And it makes sense.
But now, like
Yeah.
now, like you know, if you don't know about Trump dancing, if you
Yeah.
don't know what's going on there, if you don't,
I think your life is even better if you think Trump is a fantastic guy.
yes, yes, do you know?
So much better. You can just leave it, like, you can just be like, I saw my president today.
You
doing a
built
little dance.
towers in New York.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Like he's
what's
done.
wrong with
He's
him?
done. All he's done is help black people. You would have a great life.
But also we're geared, and you know my Twitter feed is mostly ice hockey stuff, and the Montreal, the general manager, he's always criticized whatever he does.
Yeah.
Okay, and this off season he's been unbelievable. Like you know, he went, he moved the puzzles with players and stuff. We got an unbelievable team.
Yeah.
Now he had 1 day of no criticism.
Yeah.
Now that it's starting to be negative because we have a player that's got 1 more year of a contract, and they don't know what's going to happen at the end of the contract. And 1 day after making all those moves, now it's the negativity has started for what might happen in 365 days from now. Like, you know, and they didn't even, and they enjoyed his moves for 1 day, literally 1 day. After like weeks of getting shit because he doesn't go and get the puzzle that we need, get the puzzles, 1 day of rest, and now it's like,
We hate you.
yeah, what you gonna do with this guy? You don't let him go, and it's like the people salivate with misery a little bit
We really love misery. We love misery. So basically, to sum it up, we love misery. Our lives are technically already written out for us. And the more you think you know about everything, the more you actually don't know about anything. The entire process is being on a journey to sort of self-awareness. But once you think you've reached self-awareness, at that point you have actually gone backwards.
Let's go and throw ourselves off the bridge. Get over and done with this shit.
It's probably why some people just do it, because you're like, oh, wow, I am done. Like if we, you know, we don't have a lot of money, and let's say you have $10 million. At this point, you just feel like you've reached the top, and that's when you start doing weird shit until you lose the money. And it's just I think we're just designed to self-destruct.
Self-sabotage.
Every time. Like even when we think we're not self-sabotaging, like whatever you do to one extreme is always going to be bad for you. Doesn't even matter how good it is.
We're truly here for the pain, because you talk about that $10 million and stuff, you know. Like, you know how many people we've trained over time that were very wealthy, but their health was completely. It's hard to tick all the boxes.
It just is. It's,
you know,
impossible.
there's always something. You know, to be like wealthy. Then you spend money on therapists, and you eat well, and you know it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
I'm gonna take the big. No, this is.
Which one is this?
Is a vape.
The apple.
So, and this is one of those questions where you gotta take a puff first, and then you say it, and then so it sounds even stupider.
You still don't know how to smoke.
No, I don't.
You just make a lot of smoke.
not to do that again.
Smells good. This it smells like the cologne. Ah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So it went in the lungs a little bit. You're full of apple juice in your lungs.
That's pretty much it.
You don't get high
I
with
feel
this. Huh?
no. This is actually just apple. I feel as though there is a giant corporation or smart people. I'm gonna go with white. I'm gonna go with white people
White beer, please.
who have planned everything out. I mean, this is me going conspiracy theory mode. Like,
That could be like a simulation. You reckon?
yeah, because I feel when you're about to figure shit out, they confuse you with Trump dancing. And then now you're looking at Trump dancing. And then when you're looking at Trump dancing, at the bottom, they've designed social media in a way that someone's going to write a comment. They're going to say something like, maybe Trump saved, I don't know, fuck Joe Biden. And then you're like, well, Joe Biden. And then now you're in this thing. And you've forgotten about the other things that you were doing before.
Mate, the social media is like that. Well, I mean, we've seen with their social dilemma how
We have,
they.
but that's the thing. Is it them that designed the social
And
media
who's
algorithm?
them?
Who
They.
the fuck is them? Because even the social media dilemma thing, the guys who were speaking, they were the engineers who designed the fucking thing
So-
and complain about the fucking thing that they designed, acting like it's its own person.
Well, it has become a
Its
little
own
bit their
person.
own person.
Yeah. But who's controlling this motherfucker?
I don't know. I don't understand.
And then we're just in it for the ride.
Don't you get tired sometimes?
Yeah, I'm tired now. That's why I take on
know?
that puff, because
Yeah.
it has to explain how stupid I feel.
It's yeah. It gets tiring sometimes to try to figure the unfigurable.
Yeah. And then, you think about this. You've got kids. Something out there, like you've created all this other entity, and you have no fucking idea about anything, but you have to teach them.
Yes, and it's all like you don't
Yeah.
go that far with kids anyway
Yeah.
because they're still ignorant
Yeah.
in that kind of like
And do you even
point of view, and you want to keep that for as
Yeah.
long as you can.
and do you even think you actually have any big influence on the kids, because they're also born their own person? Being a human is a
Yeah,
very,
you do.
very-
You do have the
Yeah.
you do have in implementing values. Obviously, they are their own little person.
Yeah.
But like, now that my kids are 13 and 10, all the seeds that I planted when they were young,
Yeah.
now for the first time I start to see little
in their values.
yes, a little bit in the way they behave, the calmness.
Yeah.
I'm teaching Jada how to breathe because she gets
Yeah.
overwhelmed and
Yeah,
stuff.
anxiety
And
and
then,
shit.
after reading that book, Breath, and I teach her how to breathe properly, and she sees the difference.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's really satisfying
Yeah.
to see it. So you do have a massive influence, but Keegan, I mean, is a lot on his phone, and now it's really difficult, to say, hey, don't look at this shit and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be their reality.
Yeah.
It is. It's not going to be.
Yeah.
It is their reality.
Yeah.
You're not gonna take this off their hands, off their lives. It
And
is
they're looking
part
at
of
you,
them.
thinking you know better, but you don't know shit
Oh, I'm pretty.
I mean-
I'm pretty open with them
about.
not knowing shit
Shit,
and
yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
the way I speak to them is certainly not authoritarian, and it's more a discussion and raising questions and discussions. And
Yeah.
what do you think of?
Yeah.
And it's more like that because
And
it's a
that's-
completely different way of upbringing than what we've had and stuff.
My mind is just blown, and that's why I was telling you before. Everything I say and this video that we just shot, if someone was able to come up and go, "Do you strongly believe all those things you just said?" No,
Well, not attached to anything.
I don't know what the fuck I just said.
We don't not attached to anything because like there will be like some very clever people that will come and make some points to completely destroy what we've been saying.
Yeah,
And there will be another guy that will destroy the guy who destroyed us.
Yeah.
And it was got to be, and we say that we were the judge, was, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You know,
At this point, just don't pick any side.
that's another thing as well. The people who love debating thing. I don't know if you like debating, but I'm the worst debater.
Oh, as far as I have facts with me, I would indulge in it, but because of the person that I've because I've realized about most of the things with debate don't matter anyway, now I don't care.
Did you see? You say as long as I have facts. And so
Yeah. But are
I'm-
those facts?
Thank you. That's what I'm like. I think that's where I am. I
Yeah.
don't even trust
Yeah.
enough my memory,
Yeah.
my recollection of
Yeah.
things, even the facts that how many times that table is white.
Yeah.
It is white.
Yeah.
It is white, and
Yeah,
it's
so-
like it's
so it
actually
comes like,
no.
well,
It's like it's
It's a little beige.
the beige, a
it's
bit
the
of
way the
blue
light's
in there,
hitting it. Yeah.
Ah, sorry, man.
Yeah.
See how many times I've been wrong, or I've seen people being wrong, scientists saying like science, we've proven this and proven that,
Yeah.
and then we were wrong.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm never confident enough to put my fist on the table
Yeah,
and
and-
say, I guarantee, because
Yeah.
I've been wrong too many times.
And doesn't it worry you when someone tells you that, like when someone comes in and goes, I starkly believe everything I just said. Like for me now, as a slightly more conscious person, it's hard for me to sort of run with anyone because I'm just kind of like, you don't know what the fuck you just said. Because
But then once again, there's all sorts of people, like, it's like me, like I'm second guessing everything, not to a point where like I'm paralyzed completely.
yeah.
But
You gotta make some decisions.
I always like put a door open
Yeah.
that I could be wrong, and I might need to change direction. But there's some people who don't have that at all.
Yeah.
Same thing, that there's some fucking morons that they don't know that they're morons.
Yeah.
There's some morons that know they're a little bit morons.
Yeah.
And
I think that's where I fall in.
So yeah, so once again, there's different level of awareness or awareness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, I hope
That's
to
far.
revisit this video. If there's any morons out there, or if you think you know everything, I'd actually like to see comments and talk about it somewhere, because I could be here all week realizing how much of an idiot I am all day.
See, like this podcast, I think like we have like 6 followers.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
know.
we're fucking awesome.
Go
We should have 10 million. we do believe that we are awesome, and
Yeah.
all our years of training
Yeah.
into communication. How many years for you?
Oh, at least 2 minutes. 2 minutes ago of communication, yeah. And also, I don't want 7 followers. This is 6 is good. It's a good.
6? I'd like 12.
just for double.
12.
6 is good.
12.
I feel like
12.
we're getting too
Good.
famous.
I want to be able to go to Coles and buy
No,
my
no,
Devon.
People not taking pictures and wanting autographs. All right,
Thank you,
we
guys.
out. Thanks.